Are you ready?
Yes, sir.
All right. Then at this time, I will call to order the regularly scheduled board meeting for the Village of Midlothian, Wednesday, October 14th, 2020 at 7 p.m. Roll call, please, Clerk Moskal.
Trustee Kaving?
Here.
Trustee Crowley?
Here.
Trustee Gillis?
Here.
Trustee Trustee Ivan?
Here.
Trustee Killily?
Here.
Trustee Kreis?
Here.
Mayor LaRue?
Here. Thank you, sir. At this time, please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance and remain standing for a moment of silence for our fallen veterans. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic which stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Thank you. Deputy Clerk PULASKI, was there any comment from the public?
No, there was none.
Thank you, ma'am. And we'll move on to tonight's consent agenda. Number 1, approval of ordinance 2063 vacating a portion of an alley located south of 14309 Kilpatrick Avenue and north of 14317 Kilpatrick Avenue in the Village of Midlothian. Number 2, approval of ordinance 2064 vacating a portion of an alley located north of 147th Street between Springfield Avenue and Avers Avenue in the Village of Midlothian. Number 3, approval of ordinance 2065, amending Title 5, Chapter 4, Section 41 of the Village Code of Midlothian, regulating adult use cannabis business. Number 4, approval of the August 5th, 2020 committee meeting minutes. Number 5, approval to execute Smithereen Pest Management Services Pest Control Service Agreement. Number 6, approval of the August 12th, 2020 board meeting minutes. Number 7, approval of August 19th, 2020 board meeting minutes. And number 8, approval of the list of bills. Is there any item any trustee would like off of tonight's consent agenda?
Yes, Mayor, I'd like items number 1 and 2 removed, please.
Yes, ma'am. Anything else? Anything else?
Mayor, number 3, please.
Anything else? Okay. Then I'm looking for a motion to approve tonight's consent agenda without items 1, 2, and 3, which are?
I'll make the motion.
I'll second.
Which are the approval of the ordinance 2063 vacating a portion of the alley located south of 14309 Kilpatrick and north of 14317 Kilpatrick. Number 2, approval of the ordinance 2064 vacating a portion of an alley located north of 147th Street between Springfield and Avers. And number 3, approval of the ordinance 2065 amending Title 5, Chapter 4, Section 41 of the Village Code of Midlothian. All right, Trustee Cavey made a motion, right?
Yeah.
Who seconded?
Trustee Crowley?
Okay, any discussion?
I just have a question on the list of bills.
Yes, ma'am.
There is an invoice for Peter M. Murphy for legal fees. My question is why, I believe we were paying the law firm Tressler. Is there a reason we're paying Peter Murphy and not Tressler?
He's no longer with Tressler.
Okay, so he's on his own now?
He is on his own.
Sorry?
For the Village of Midlothian, he's on his own, yes.
Okay, so he's not with a firm, he's on his own. Okay, thank you for clarifying.
All right, anyone else? Roll call, please, clerk. Oh,
Oh, sorry.
go ahead.
We're going to discuss these 3 items after we do the roll call?
I have to bring them back up for a vote because they're on the agenda, so.
Okay. Great, okay, thank you.
Okay. Roll call, please, Clerk Moskal.
Trustee Kaving?
Aye.
Trustee Crowley?
Aye.
Trustee Gillis?
Aye.
Trustee Ivan?
Aye.
Trustee Killily?
Aye.
Trustee Kreis?
Aye.
Motion carries.
Thank you, sir. At this time, I'm looking for a motion to approve ordinance 2063 vacating a portion of an alley located south of 14309 Kilpatrick and north of 14317 Kilpatrick in the village of Midlothian.
I'll make, me, hello.
Okay.
Second.
Trustee Caven will make the motion and trustee Crowley will second it. What is the discussion?
So I knew that we had done something in the past, and I was trying to reach trustee Cagney earlier today after I located the documents, and she was working. I did send everything at her request to the board after her and I had a conversation. And I'd like the board, I don't know if anybody's had an opportunity to review those documents that I sent.
Yes.
Those were board actions back in 2016. I didn't have the official documents. I didn't have the executed documents. But when the village did those vacations on 2 different properties, the charge was $1,500. So I wanted to bring that up for discussion and possible, I think we should consider reducing the fees. We have some kind of precedent that was set back in 2016. And so I'd like to discuss that.
I concur with your sentiment. I think $1,500 is fair and a precedent. So I can certainly ask to re-motion this with amended on its face.
Please.
Does anyone else have any issues with lowering it from $2,500 each to $1,500 each?
No, it would be $1,500 total.
Oh,
Right?
I have a
It
problem
would
with
be-
that.
Right, I'm looking at both of the documents, and, both of them state $1,500 total.
$1,500 in total won't cover the cost for the village.
Okay, do we know what the costs are?
What do we have to do?
I can't tell you exactly what it is, but $1,500 won't cover it.
I would
Legal.
think it would be close. I mean, maybe could we then defer this until we have the exact amount? So I don't want us to lose any money over this, but that was 4 years ago, so I would think that the expenses would be relatively similar. I know we had to have it published in the paper, and there are attorney fees, correct?
Correct. Any comment from the attorney?
3,000 should be, as a matter of policy, the minimum for the village.
What Attorney Valens is saying,
I can't imagine the attorney fees would be more than $500 or $600, given that the ordinance is already drafted and all the documentation is done. It has to go to the county to be recorded, and it was already published, and what did it cost us to publish it in the newspaper, $200?
Might be on the list of bills.
it's
tonight.
around that, yeah. It's around $200.
Pardon, dear?
It's around $200, $265 or something.
Okay, so let's say $300 to put it in the newspaper, plus,
Kathy, as I'm looking, it looks like the vacation publications were $72.24 each. It's on the list of bills tonight.
okay.
I'm just saying $1,500 is,
I don't think our fees to do this would be more than $2,000.
all right.
Why don't we just amend it on the face to cover our costs?
Well, we don't know exactly what the costs are right now.
But I'm saying we could figure that out and later.
Or going forward, I believe what I've been hearing is that we're going to be doing a lot more of these alley vacations, and setting a low precedent is, I don't know if that's a good thing to do either.
I would just say that the building superintendent cost, he's on the payroll for the village. That should not be borne by the village. Even if now we're doing this, that the village should not be paying for that.
So, 1,000 each?
hold on, how many hours did Superintendent Weiner put in to do the alley vacation for this? For the residential piece?
What if we just say that we'll charge them what it costs the village, not to exceed a certain amount?
Can we do that?
No, because the statute requires that what the cost be in the ordinance, as well as once the payment of that specific amount allows the property owners to record.
Well, could we then defer this for approval until next week? And
Yes.
then we would have,
I would rather not do that, Karen, because these homeowners have been waiting a
waiting a long time, you're right.
So let's just hammer it out now.
So what?
Hold on. Nick Weiner, Superintendent Weiner,
Yes.
approximately how many hours did you spend putting all the documentation together to share with us for this?
I don't know, it's been happening for months. 15 minutes here, 15 minutes there, hour here, hour there. I didn't keep track of my time.
Okay.
So, that's all it takes.
I'd like to make a point of order here, if you don't mind.
Yeah.
Did we not discuss this and agree with it all last week at that price rate? Changing it out at the last minute and guessing at whatever it's going to be seems very foolish on our part. Can we not have a vote on what we agreed on last week, and then if it fails, bring it back up?
Carl, with all due respect, I understand your comment there, but you know what? I don't want to push this off another week because the homeowners have been waiting a long time.
No, we would vote on it today at the fee that it is.
I know that we're voting on it today, but I have expressed in the past that I felt that $5,000 was way too expensive. And trustee Price brought to us documentation showing that the village in the past charged a much lower fee. So.
Then they also charged a much higher fee in the past.
And let's agree to a lower number now and then vote on it.
Well, I don't want to guess at a dollar value.
1,500 each. What do you think? 3,000 total.
I think that's still too high. I don't know if anybody else feels that way. I think it's too high.
Well, we have a motion and a second on the table for this as written, so, I mean, if we can't,
Well, I still would like to amend it on the face. I would be okay with, let's say $1,200 a piece. $2,400 should more than cover our costs on this.
We can't just guess at a dollar figure and see if it sticks.
Gary, I can't understand what Carl's saying.
he says that's just a guessing of what the cost is to the village. And
But guess what? When you guys attached the $5,000 fee to this, that was guessing.
that,
Actually, trustee, if I may, it wasn't a guess. With the retainer agreement, my hourly rate is much lower than what it would be to a private party. I don't think that benefit should inure to the property owners. I would say, well, when you're talking about $2,500 for an alley vacation from municipality to owners, I don't know anywhere, at least in the last 10 years that I've seen, except for maybe the two examples that trustee Price provided, in which it would be below 3,000. I would say that if we're going to guess, then probably to establish a precedent, make it the absolute minimum that it could cost the village. In my opinion, that's probably around $2,500. If the superintendent, cuts his hours, if I give my bill as what the rate is to the village rather than what it would normally be, $2,500 would be the absolute minimum.
$2,500 total?
Oh, yes. Yes, that would be
Okay,
the,
$2,500 total divided by 2 is what?
1,250.
$1,250.
Okay, then let's go $1,250 a piece for $2,500 total. I would be fine with that. Karen?
Me too.
Okay.
I would, I still wish we had exact figures, but I think it's.
We had the exact figure last week.
Okay, so here's what I'm gonna do. I am going to amend my request to approve ordinance 2063 vacating a portion of the alley located south of 14309 Kilpatrick and north of 14317 Kilpatrick. Amending the ordinance on its face for a cost of $2,500 total to be paid to the village.
Motion by
To be split by the two homeowners.
To be split by the two
Yeah.
property owners.
Yeah, trustee Cagney needs to make that amendment, and if you need a second.
And then, so I have to ask you, trustee Cagney, are you okay with making your motion with that amendment?
Yes, sir, I will make my motion. I will make the motion as amended.
And trustee Crowley, are you okay with your second with the amendment on its face?
I will make my motion with the amendment the same way.
Okay.
Mayor?
Yes.
Mayor, you might want to revisit your motion. I believe we were supposed to change the north to the south. Was
That-
printed on the agenda.
I'm sorry, the agenda for the public hearing was incorrect. The ordinance is correct. It's south, not north. That's what you're talking about, Clerk Moscow?
Located south of 14309 Kilpatrick and north of 14317.
Yes,
Okay.
that is correct. That is correct, yes. Okay. Anyone else? Roll call, please, Clerk Moscow.
Trustee Cagney?
Aye.
Trustee Crowley?
Aye.
Trustee Gillis?
Aye.
Trustee Ivan?
Aye.
Trustee Killily?
Aye.
Trustee Kreis?
Aye.
Motion carries.
Thank you. Oh, yeah. You gotta ask me too, I think.
Mayor LaRue?
Aye.
Still carries.
Still carries. Okay, for the next one, I'm going to ask for a motion to postpone the approval of ordinance 2064 vacating a portion of the alley located north of 147th Street between Springfield and Avers due to lack of documentation.
I'll make the motion.
I'll second.
Any discussion?
I just have a question based on a conversation that trustee Cagney and I had today.
Yes.
Is there, and this would be for Superintendent Sperry, is there a water main? Are there any
Yes.
village utilities?
There's a
under there?
sanitary sewer that will be part of the survey, and building department won't give them permits to build on that sanitary sewer main.
Okay, thank you.
Correct.
Okay, roll call, please.
Trustee Cagney?
Aye.
Trustee Crowley?
Aye.
Trustee Gillis?
Aye.
Trustee Ivan?
Aye.
Trustee Killily?
Aye.
Trustee Kreis?
Aye.
Motion carries.
Thank you, sir. At this time, I'm looking for a motion to approve ordinance 2065, amending Title 5, Chapter 4, Section 41 of the Village Code of Midlothian, regulating adult use cannabis.
I'll make the motion.
I'll second.
Okay. Discussion?
Mayor, we have two issues here. One is that the distance from a resident is too much. It's 75 feet, and basically we're going to try to amend it to basically the width of an alley, so we have to amend that. Otherwise, we won't have a lot of cannabis businesses in town. Number two is, this is for Attorney Valdez. When are we, or was I totally asleep? Did we amend the zoning yet for this? For cannabis?
I do not believe that it passed. We have a zoning ordinance that was being discussed.
Isn't there a zoning meeting next Monday with this on the agenda?
That's correct, trustee.
Is that true? Is that true? Okay, all right, that's fine. If that's the case, then that's fine. But we do have to change maybe Superintendent Weiner can tell us what the width of an alley is, and we can just change it on its face right now.
I'm sorry, it's my understanding, trustee, that at the last meeting that you requested that distance be measured from a building line of a residence to, the property line of a residence to a dispensary. Did I misinterpret what you're?
But not 75 feet.
Oh, okay, all right, then that's.
You're right, property line is fine, but 75 feet is too far. You just need the width of an alley from a shopping center or whatever it's gonna be to a residence, so we have to change that.
I agree completely, I misinterpreted what your intent was now.
So what is the width of the alleys?
That's a good question. Do we have Superintendent Weiner here?
Superintendent Sperry?
Please?
Superintendent Sperry should be on the phone.
Alleys that we're doing in the residential areas are 20 feet wide.
Okay. Can we change that on its face?
Yes. To 20 or 10?
20.
Okay. Anyone else have an issue? All right, so I'm going to amend.
Just for the residents though, the 75 feet from the park still stand.
Okay. So I'm going to amend my request for a motion to approve ordinance 2065, amending Title 5, Chapter 4, Section 41 of the Village Code of Midlothian regulating adult use cannabis business, to change on the face of the ordinance from 75 feet from residential property to 10 feet from residential property. Trustee Ivan, would you amend your motion?
Yes, I will amend my motion.
Who seconded it? Trustee Gillis?
Yes.
Would you amend your second?
Yes.
Okay, then roll call please.
Mayor, why do we do 10? It's 20, an alley is 20 feet. Is that right?
I'm sorry, I wrote down 10 when you said 10.
An alley is 20 feet.
I know, when you said 10, I wrote down 10 and that was what I was reading from, so. Can I amend it again, Attorney Valdez?
Why don't we withdraw the current amendment, and then we'll have trustee Kilby make an amendment to change the number to 20 feet, and then that will need a second.
So I am withdrawing my request for a motion. Trustee Kilby, would you like to make a motion with the ordinance amended on its face?
Yes, Mayor, I'd like to make a motion to pass the cannabis ordinance with the change on its face of 20 feet for a residence from the property line of their residence to the property line of the cannabis dispensary.
That would be the building line.
Well, no, it's 20 feet from the property line.
Okay,
We're
so-
doing property line to property line, because if the alley is in between them.
Okay.
So
all
it's
right.
property line of the residence to the 20 feet to the property line of the cannabis business.
Okay, so that means that what the intent is that the current ordinance will be amended to provide from property line to property line rather than from property line of the residence to building line of the dispensary. Is that correct?
That's right.
Okay, I got it.
Would someone like to second that motion?
Yeah, I will second.
Thank you. Roll call please, Clerk Moskal.
Trustee Kilby?
Aye.
Trustee Gillis?
Aye.
Trustee Kami?
Aye.
Trustee Crowley?
Aye.
Trustee Ivan?
Aye.
Trustee Kreis?
Aye.
Motion carries.
Okay, let's move on to trustee business. Trustee Kreis.
Thank you, Mayor. I just have a couple updates, as I talked about last week at committee, but I do have another update. Recycle event on October 3rd. I wanted to thank everybody who participated, the residents who dropped off and filled up the e-waste vehicle by about 10:15 or 10:30. We did get a count yesterday of the pounds of textiles collected, which was 1,460.
Wow.
Which was pretty impressive, thanks to Recycle Rita. And I do want to thank the police department and Public Works for their assistance, because we had 208 cars go through. And I want to again thank Bremen High School seniors, St. Christopher Knights of Columbus, Cook County Sheriff, Use Again, the Tinley Park Lions Club, Keep Midlothian Beautiful volunteers, and especially Rita Zarni and Kristen Ramirez from Public Works. So we're hoping to do this again in the spring. And the only other item I want to bring up is just to let the board know, excuse me, I'm working on the Illinois Transportation Enhancement Program grants for the Phase 2 engineering for Natalie Creek Trail. That one's coming along pretty well. The construction portion, I haven't made a stab at that yet. We will have, hopefully, the intergovernmental agreement for the board to review on next week's committee agenda. And I also will start to be populating the GATA forms. GATA is Grant Accountability and Transparency Act through the state of Illinois, and those documents will require the mayor and the village treasurer's signature. So as I complete those documents, I will get them to both of you so that we're not rushing like we were at the last minute when we submitted the one to the Illinois Environmental Protection Agency for the Green Infrastructure Grant. And that is all I have this evening.
Thank you, ma'am. Trustee Iyer.
Thank you, Mayor. I want to first start out by thanking Public Works for changing the tiles out that were stained from our leaky roof in the front area, in the administrative offices, and in the hallways as well. So, kudos, Public Works. I also want to thank the fire department for giving us the sanitizing equipment. I guess that would be the best general description of it, to kill the viruses that are floating in the lobby. We're now in the position to start using the devices to kill all the germs in the lobby on a regular basis, as well as in the cash area, the mayor's office, the boardroom, and high travel areas like the hallways and such. Now, I would like to make a motion to adopt the capital asset policy.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Any discussion?
Yes, I just have a comment on both of these policies that are for approval. The drafts are on board docs instead of the final document, the red line or blue line versions. So I just think it would be appropriate if the board is going to approve policies that they be in policy format and be in final format.
Okay.
Okay.
Anyone else? Roll call, please, Clerk Mosk.
Trustee Ivan,
Aye.
Trustee Crowley,
Aye.
Trustee Caving,
Aye.
Trustee Gillis,
Aye.
Trustee Kimberly,
Aye.
Trustee Kreis.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you. Now I'd like to make the motion to adopt the investment policy.
Is there a second? Okay. Any discussion? Roll call, please, Clerk Mosk.
Trustee Ivan,
Aye.
Trustee Crowley,
Aye.
Trustee Caving,
Aye.
Trustee Gillis,
Aye.
Trustee Kimberly,
Aye.
Trustee Kreis.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Thank you.
Well, I want to thank the board then for that, and that ends my business, sir.
Thank you, sir. Trustee Gillis.
Yes, Mayor, I would just say, On behalf of my family, I would like to thank the board and like the departments for their and sincerity and kindness during a time when it was during the time. So thank everybody for thank you for the wishes. And I do not have anything tonight. Thank you.
Thank you. Our hearts and thoughts are still with you, Jerry. All right, Trustee Cavey.
Thank you, Mayor. I just want to remind everyone that the Park District is having their trunk retreat on Saturday the 24th, and then the village will be hosting its modified version of the annual Fall Fest and Scarecrow display on Sunday, October 25th. And all of our residents and businesses and associations and village organizations are welcome to participate. I have heard from 4 businesses that are going to be putting up scarecrows, and there are 2 scarecrows up to the rain garden right now already. So hopefully over the weekend, I know that we've got 2 more coming as well. So hopefully we'll have a decent turnout of scarecrows this year. And I'm anxiously waiting to see all of the lovely creations that are going to be provided by our village departments this year also. And that's all I have.
Thank you, ma'am. Trustee Kilby.
Nothing tonight, Mayor.
Thank you, sir. Trustee Crowley.
Sir, I have nothing tonight.
Thank you, ma'am. Moving on to department heads. Chief Hotwagner.
Yes, sir. Just a couple things. I'd like to thank all the residents and people who ordered cancer awareness shirts. They did come in today. Everyone should have received a phone call on how to pick them up, or for the trustees in different departments, they were dropped off in your department. Thank you for that. Also, Firefighter Latex made a short fire prevention video that was sent out to all the schools in our village. I did send a copy of that to the board to look at as well. The video is designed for schools to use for students while they're doing virtual learning. I want to thank Keith and his family. He uses his kids for making a video, putting it all together. It's a great job. And then lastly, both engines, or fellow engines, were sent out for annual preventive maintenance. Both are back and they are in service. There was no major cost, so I didn't come to the board with any issues with that. That's all.
Thank you, sir. And yes, that was an outstanding video. Who did the editing? Who did the
One
editing?
second.
Oh,
I'm sorry, I just wanted to tell him something. Steve, I have my check for you, so I will drop it off at the fire department tomorrow afternoon.
That's fine.
Thank you.
all right. Thank you, sir. Chief Delaney.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Mayor. Just a couple things. Every year, the Alliance Against Intoxicated Motorists will send out certificates of appreciation to the top DUI writers at each municipality. So this year, 3 of our officers did get a certificate of appreciation for them for their DUI enforcement, and the officers are Officer Matthew Kicker, Officer Robert Evers, and Officer Zachary Blanchard. Also, our hearts do go out to Matthew Kicker. His father did pass yesterday. We sent out an email to all you guys, so keep his family in your prayers. And then finally, I want to thank Trustee Crowley. Last Saturday was a very busy day for us, and all of our officers were pretty busy. And we had an incident at the police station that she actually handled on her own accord and resolved with professionalism, and we didn't need any officers to come handle the incident, as she took it upon herself to handle that, and we appreciate her service to the police department. And that's all I have, sir.
And we appreciate it as well. She's gonna deputize her or something, or?
We have junior police badges that she might get.
Superintendent Weiner.
Since it was mentioned earlier in the meeting, Monday at 6 o'clock is a special use hearing for the cannabis business that's going on 145th and Pulaski. Then also I sent everybody updated zoning map. It's been 2 years in the works to get this to where it should be. I appreciate if everybody look at it and comment so that we can take this and put on the agenda and adopt it as official map for the village. It was supposed to be done in March, however, we're waiting for the B2 zoning hearing. Hello? Meeting for adoption. Yeah.
You're breaking up real bad, but I think you're asking everyone to look at the zoning map so we can put it on the agenda for official adoption.
Correct.
Okay. Anything else?
Cannabis hearing.
Yes, yeah, I got that.
News. That's it, thank you.
All right, thank you, sir. Superintendent Sperry.
Yeah, I'd just like to give a quick update on the status of the health of our 3 employees that came down with the virus. 2 of them are fully recovered. Taking this week off, I'll be back Monday. 3rd employee did positive late last week, so he'll come back probably next Thursday. All are doing well. The 3rd employee was a little sick for a couple, 3 days, but he's on the mend. He's doing better. Everybody else in the department did get tested. Everybody was negative. We had the whole department sanitized last Friday, and we are practicing very strict masking, sanitation, everything we can do to prevent anything from going, anybody else from catching it. That's all I have to know.
Thank you, sir. Engineer Huss.
Thank you, Mayor. Just three very brief points. Superintendent Sperry informed me of the notice to proceed on the water main improvement design on 147th Street east of Cicero Avenue. We will be proceeding with topography on that immediately. With regards to the CDBG, I've been continuing to put phone calls forth to Dominic Tochi at the county. Unfortunately, I have enlisted a coworker of mine who deals with the county much more frequently and has 2 cell phone numbers of some people there, and we will keep at that. We have the previously authorized about a month ago, the sanitary improvement project in the northeast section of town. Should be going through internal quality control review in our offices next week. I will get the plans after they've been reviewed and possibly revised to Superintendent Sperry for review after that, targeting a advertisement sometime in November. And that's all I have this evening. If there are not any questions.
Thank you, sir. Treasurer Britton.
Thank you.
Nothing, Mr. Mayor.
Deputy Clerk PULASKI.
I have nothing.
Thank you both. Attorney Valdez.
2 brief items. First item, coming up very soon, the board will be presented with a municipal cannabis retailer's occupation tax. Trustee Killey and myself came to the conclusion that it might be better for the village to not go the full 3% tax that is allowable under the state statute. There are a handful of municipalities in the state that have gone below the 3%, but that would be up for the full board to decide. It just needs to be in quarter point increments. So the board could go anywhere from 1/4 point all the way to 3% on that cannabis retailer occupation tax. And some good news for the village to leave you with, the village was dismissed from a lawsuit regarding a sidewalk slip and fall case. You may recall that Superintendent Sperry has had all of our sidewalks, or is in the process of having all of our sidewalks inspected and evaluated for fixing in order to avoid an onslaught of these kinds of cases. Today, we got confirmation that the appeal period for that case, for this dismissal, has expired, and so the village is out of that case, and it will come back no more. That's it.
Thank you, sir. Well done.
Next question. Attorney Valdez, what is the recommendation of you and Trustee Killey for the occupational tax for cannabis?
I believe it was 2%, is that correct? Trustee Killey?
Yes.
2%.
Okay. I have nothing tonight. Clerk Moskal?
I have nothing tonight, sir.
Thank you, sir. Then at this, seeing there's no further business coming before the board, I'm looking for a motion to adjourn.
I'll make the motion.
Okay.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed?
Aye.
Meeting adjourned. Thank you all so much. Enjoy the
Safe,
rest
everyone.
of. Be safe. Stay healthy.
Take care.
Thank you.
All right.
Take care.